Hello, I'm Sharon from Sharon at Sea Travel, and as a travel advisor, I sometimes receive information that is not always shared right away with the general public. The company that I'm partnered with received an informational video from Christine Duffy herself, the president of Carnival Cruise Lines, and it was shared with all the travel advisors. It answered a lot of questions for travel advisors and also just Carnival guests in general. I receive emails and messages on a daily basis with a lot of questions from things that people hear either in other videos or Facebook posts, social media posts, and they're always asking me, is this true? Is this going to happen? Well, most of it is usually just speculation unless you've heard it from the source, the cruise line themselves. So this hopefully will answer a few of your questions. I just thought it was some great information to share with you guys, and hopefully you enjoy it. So let's get started and get a few of your questions answered from the president of Carnival Cruise Line herself, Christine Duffy.
Thanks for joining me today. I know there are lots of questions about what's happening and what may happen in the future. While there is still a lot of uncertainty, hopefully I can shed some light by sharing what we do know and at the same time give you an update on all things related to Carnival Cruise Line. So let's get started. First, let me apologize to those who have had challenges with refunds. And refunds for FIT bookings are working pretty smoothly at this point. We've been able to automate a good amount of that process. Now see their FIT refunds arriving within 2 weeks. It's good for you to know that if your FIT booking was made using multiple credit cards, a gift card, or an alternative form of payment such as PayPal, your refund will be slower as we need to manually process those transactions. As you know, we could never have imagined the kind of delay and pause in our operation that we're experiencing and the volume that has come with the canceled sailings. As you know, 4 of our Fantasy class ships have left the fleet. We have now been able to finalize dry dock schedules for several ships which were postponed. So we are going to be delaying the return of Carnival Magic, Carnival Valor, Carnival Paradise, and Carnival Spirit until after their refurbishments are completed, which will be in the first half of 2021. We understand the impact that these changes continue to have, and we appreciate your support and understanding. Meanwhile, we are busy getting ready for Mardi Gras, which will be arriving at the end of the year with plans for her first sailing out of Port Canaveral in February. I can assure you she is going to be a fabulous new ship. Her sister ship, Carnival Celebration, opens up for sale in October, and she'll be based in Miami and arrive in 2022 in time for Carnival Cruise Line's 50th birthday. You may have seen we planned a number of Carnival celebrations to celebrate. We've continued to seek guidance from 12 U.S.-based renowned public health experts and scientists, along with health experts in Europe who were consulted as part of the resumption of cruising for our Costa and AIDA brands. CLIA has also harnessed many industry and external resources to develop the industry plan that was recently announced. And we have a number of senior executives in our company that bring significant medical and public health experience that we are working to build effective and comprehensive protocols and procedures that we'll be sharing with guests, our trade partners, and other stakeholders over the coming weeks. Costa Cruises resumed operations on September 6th with its first ship, Costa Deliciosa. They were very pleased with how guests responded to their new protocols, and we are all benefiting from their results. Costa's former president, Neil Palumbo, is our new Chief Operations Officer. So Having his insights and experience as we focus on planning for our startup is extremely helpful. AIDA Cruises plans to restart their operations on October 17th, with AIDA Blue sailing a weekly 7-day itinerary from Rome and La Spezia, visiting multiple Italian ports, followed in November by 2 ships sailing in the Canary Islands, and in December with 2 ships sailing in the Western Mediterranean and United Arab Emirates. Both brands are resuming cruise operations with enhanced protocols that were developed in coordination with national and global health authorities and modeled after shoreside health and mitigation guidelines as defined by each brand's respective country and approved by the flag state for both brands, which is Italy. Their protocols and direct experience is helping to inform and enhance our protocols when cruising can resume in North America. But of course, first, we have to satisfy the requirements of the CDC, which are likely to be different than the requirements in Europe. At the same time, we are engaging with our port and destination partners, working collaboratively on our plans to ensure alignment and understanding of what they will require from us when we begin sailing. Destinations are our partners. We cannot sail or operate without them. So we are in this together, and we've been keeping in close contact with all of our destination partners in the following areas. First of all, we've been making direct calls and outreach from all of our executives to heads of state, various persons in government, and our private sector partners. Keeping in touch not only keeps us connected, but helps us understand how they are facing this challenge and what we all need to consider as we prepare for the day that we can return to cruise. We are part of the FCCA's America's Cruise Tourism Task Force that's working closely with destination partners focused on safe operations to return to cruise. Specific destinations have been supporting us through this pause, in particular Barbados, the Bahamas, St. Martin, Mexico, Panama, and Curacao, along with others. Some of these countries were extremely critical in the process for us to help get our crew members repatriated and back home. Barbados, in particular, moved over 20,000 crew for the cruise industry. CLIA's guidelines are serving as the foundation for the cruise industry's return to service as we seek direction from CDC and other regulatory bodies. As you've likely seen, for Phase 1, these include 100% testing of all guests and crew members. There are policies with regards to wearing masks by all guests and team members in designated venues, particularly when indoors. And during shore excursions, enhanced medical staffing, medical facilities, equipment, on-board testing capabilities, along with dedicated quarantine and isolation cabins would be implemented. We'll also be operating with reduced guest capacity on the ships, along with other measures to ensure that we are allowing for physical distancing while on the ship. Shore excursions will be limited to only those who can uphold our protocols, and guests will be denied boarding if they fail to abide by shore excursion protocols. Now, these are just some of the high-level examples that will be supported by very detailed and specific operating procedures. Enhancements are already underway to add new features and functions to our extremely popular Carnival Hub app. We are initially expanding the pre-cruise online check-in process with a new health questionnaire and related time-saving steps for our guests before they arrive in the terminal. Once on board, guests will use the Hub app for accessing safety content, digital food and drink menus, and the ability to pre-order food before arrival to a restaurant or to be able to order food items that can be delivered, like we've already done with pizza being delivered anywhere the guest is on the ship. There will also be touchless payment capabilities, contact tracing tools, and new messaging capabilities to eliminate much of the paper notices that can clutter the stateroom. We're also working on the ability to book venue reservations for our shows and events on board, virtual queuing for select locations like guest services, and lots of other self-service functions that will allow guests to move seamlessly across the ship. Ultimately, your smartphone will be an important thing for you to carry and use so that you have access to the Hub app and all the information and messaging that we want to be able to communicate to our guests on board. The good news is we entered this situation in a positive position with a strong record of responsible financial management, a strong balance sheet, and among the highest credit ratings in the entire leisure travel industry. Since the pause, our parent company, Carnival Corporation, has successfully raised nearly $12 billion through a series of financing transactions, which we believe gives us sufficient capital to carry us through this extended pause and what we anticipate will be a gradual, phased-in return to full operations. As of August 31st, the company had $8.2 billion in cash. Now remember, our operating expenses are significant, even though we're not operating, because we have to continue to operate our ships with crew on board in order to maintain them so we can be ready to sail again, just as soon as we are able. Now, what matters most is that we can resume sailing, because that will be the primary driver of being able to reduce our debt and return to the investment grade ratings over time. Given the current circumstances, we feel confident in our financial position and in our ability to continue to be an industry leader when cruising resumes. So we're managing the company and making decisions, including tough ones, to continue to ensure we can preserve cash while retaining an efficient fleet of modern ships and meeting all of the compliance requirements and commitments that we've made as a company. We have every intention of being here to honor every future cruise credit that we issue, and for a lot longer than that, because I've got a 50th birthday party to plan for 2 Carnival ships in 2022, along with 2 beautiful new ships on the way. Well, I wish I had a crystal ball, but I don't. All I can say is that we are working very hard with great urgency with government and public health officials so that we can resume cruising as soon as the time is right. The increasing availability of testing with faster results and greater accessibility are all critical in order for us to be able to operate at scale. And of course, indications that a vaccine is on the way before the end of the calendar year are quite positive. We've also learned a lot more about how COVID is transmitted and how it can be mitigated, which allows us to build effective protocols and procedures. Now, when we do begin cruising, it will be with a gradual, phased-in approach. We'll be staggering the fleet's re-entry to optimize demand and operating performance over time. So remember, even after the no-sail order is lifted, and even after we begin cruising, it will take time for a full recovery back to our 2019 levels.
So that was some great information from Christine Duffy. Thank you, Christine. Hopefully this gives you some security that Carnival Cruise Line is working very hard, doing their best to get us back out there sailing again in the near future. And I know many of you, including myself, are counting down the days till we can get on a ship again. I know I was really excited to hear that the new ship for 2022, the Celebration, will start opening for bookings in October. That's just around the corner. And as a reminder, if you need any assistance with booking a Carnival cruise, or any cruise line for that matter, feel free to reach out to me via email at sharonatc@gmail.com. And my email is also listed in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and happy cruising!